Hey, salut. Salut, salut. Alors. Hop. Le jeu. Où est-ce qu'il est? Il est là. Hop. Bizarre ça. Ah oui, c'est pour ça. Ok, hop, hop. Ça c'est pas bien mis. Voilà, ok, c'est bon. Alors. C'est bizarre que... Pourquoi on entend si peu la musique? D'habitude on entend plus que ça. Bon. Donc voilà, donc c'est là les 10 vœux de la fatalité qu'on peut avoir. Hier j'ai fait ça, j'ai essayé les persos. Bon, Aïta mais pas mal, en vrai. J'ai aussi fait mes quêtes quotidiennes. Et j'ai regardé pour cette quête là, c'est marqué quête prérequise. Il faut faire la quête d'histoire de Yelan. Alors du coup on va le faire. Donc ouais, j'ai une clé. Alors je rappelle qu'ici je fais les quêtes à mon stat. Je laisse les quêtes à mon stat parce que il y a une quête qu'on peut débloquer qu'avec une mission quotidienne à mon stat. Et c'est la dernière quête qui me manque pour la réputation de mon stat. Ok, il y en a un de chaque côté de la statue. Comment c'est là-bas?
Quit following me. Behold. Ha! Ah! 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 Ah!
Out of the frying pan. Not now. Let's dance.
Squall and fury. Ah! Ha! Ah! Cry louder.
Hop. On ramasse tout ça. Hop là. Il y a un Nemoculus ici. Ah ouais.
Quit following me. How amusing.
J'ai chopé? Ouais. Ok. Il doit m'en rester vraiment plus beaucoup à avoir des anémoculus. Et je ne sais pas où est-ce qu'elles sont cachées. Hein? Regardez, ils prennent l'aggro de quelque chose.
Behold.
Oh oui, faut que j'y trouve des matériaux.
Squall and fury.
Boba, get them! Then, that's a gift. Not now. My guiding star.
Behold.
De la corde. Faut aller loin.
The wind rises.
Enfin loin, c'est relatif.
Too
Je vais revenir, il va y avoir des mobs. Ah non. Ok. Tiens. Ok, c'est fini. Ah, c'est là-bas. À l'encre de Storm Terror, ok.
Quit following me.
J'aurais dû regarder combien d'anémoculus il me manquait pour
Too slow.
up la statue.
Out of the frying pan.
Squall and fury. Quit following me.
Oh non, les renforts.
Nice and spicy.
Wretched vermin! Ha! Behold! Ha! 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 Too slow. Ha!
Hop. Et du coup maintenant faut que j'aille là-bas. Et je vais juste regarder. Ah, il m'en faut. Il m'en manque 9. Ah, je sais pas chez vous, mais chez moi il a bien neigé là.
slow.
Des clés d'antenne à aube. C'est bien pour Up, le voyageur.
Quit following me. The wind rises. That's far enough.
Voilà, c'est fait. Hop. On va aller à mon stat. Je sais pas pourquoi j'aime bien mon stat, j'y reste toujours. Hop là. Et en fait, vu que je suis niveau d'aventure 50, je vais pouvoir up mes personnages 90.
Add Astra. Thank you for Add Astra.
En vrai, je me dis que j'aimerais bien. J'aimerais bien Al-Aitam. Mais les matériaux d'élévation ont l'air vraiment chiants. Bon, les drops marchent bien. Je vais en avoir un sur mon propre stream. Je crois que c'est dans la messagerie qu'ils arrivent. Le pot. Ah, le v'là. Récompense événement Twitch. Ok, apparemment c'est jusqu'au 7 février. Je savais pas qu'il y avait une date limite. Parce que du coup j'avais laissé drop tout le temps moi. Parce que bah je les avais activés. Mais au bout d'un moment il y en a plus. Je savais pas. Du coup faut que je pense à la retirer après le 7 février. Je sais pas si c'est nouveau ça. Il me semble là parce que je l'avais pas vu. Vous voyez il y a une petite couche là à côté du donjon. Sûrement pour dire qu'il est sous terre. Ces trucs là il n'y a pas. Pourtant je les vois pas. Ils doivent être sous terre aussi. Bizarre. Bon. Je vais finir cette quête là. Hop. Ah, et pour Up Nomade, enfin ses compétences, il me faut un dispositif bizarre. Et je vais vous montrer où est-ce qu'on l'a. C'est assez... Bah, c'est simple. Quand on a affronté Scaramouche, le boss là, c'est ça qu'on doit faire. On doit tuer le boss. On doit farmer ce boss pour... Up Scaramouche. Je crois les autres quêtes. Après ça, quête principale. On mettra un peu de côté. Pour faire... Pour faire... Qu'est-ce que je voulais dire? Ah oui, pour faire l'événement des lanternes. Qui est en vrai super cool. Je me suis tapé au mauvais endroit.
We haven't seen Al-Haytham anywhere. Let's ask that person over there.
Ouais, demandons à cette personne.
Hey there, have you seen Al-Haytham around?
Yes, it seems Scribe Al-Haytham has gone to the House of But you're already the second group of people I've seen looking for him.
Oh? Who else was...
Mr. Cave was just here asking about him. You wouldn't Don't tell me everyone's here looking for gossip about the sages.
No way. We're strictly...
Ah, I see. Sorry, I thought maybe
Ok. Au foyer. Bah, du coup, je suis sûr qu'il faut me TP l'eau. Je crois. Ou alors... Ah non, c'est la bibliothèque. me souviens. C'est la bibliothèque. Il faut que je traverse toute l'académie.
Swollen fury.
Voilà. Donc c'est Nilou qui avait envoyé des invitations, si vous vous souvenez plus. Et on devait aller voir si les gens avaient bien reçu leur invitation parce qu'il n'y a personne qui avait répondu. Qui est cette personne?
Oh, Haytham should be around here somewhere, right? Oh, he's over there! But
Just put down that worthless book and tell me what happened in the academia.
This is not just some worthless book. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to find a physical book?
It doesn't matter. It's probably just another thing that you used your authority to get your hands on anyway. Just put it aside.
Il a un œil divin d'Andrew aussi.
Oh, you sound surprised.
Would I be here asking you if I knew? You're the scribe, not me.
Well, I almost became a...
Huh?
Oh, don't sound too surprised now. You're the renowned Kaveh, light of the Ksharawar. Besides, as a master builder and craftsman, chances are you'll be appointed as a sage too.
Why do I feel like you don't really mean it?
Huh. What makes you say that? Why would you question my heartfelt sincerity?
Maybe it's because you've never said anything good about me before.
Yeah,
Ils se
well,
ressemblent
I
étrangement
share
tous les
a
deux.
similar sentiment, and anyone who knows you as well as I do would surely do the same.
Ah, you... See? This is why I hate discussing anything with...
It seems that you really can't stand...
Ha! What was...
Well, then you might as well move out of my house.
Are you threatening me? Ugh, and don't change the subject. You, a sage? What a joke. The academia might as well just close tomorrow.
are they having a fight?
Forget what's going on with the academia. Haven't you been busy with your construction project? Tell me, when are...
Don't get me started. I get angry just thinking...
So, what great building did our master architect work on this time?
Like I need to tell you. Keep your nose out of my business.
No, I think we deserve to know. Where were you when Sumeru...
I was in the desert for a large project, but considering Haravatat's utter ignorance of architectural and aesthetic matters, you probably... which is truly unfortunate. I can only pity the man... Hold on, wait a second. What do you mean by when Sumeru needed me most?
Well, while you were out fiddling around in the desert, many people came together to save Sumeru.
Ha! And you think...
Look, all you really need to know is that Azar and all his accomplices have all been over...
Huh? What nonsense are you...
It's no skin off my nose if you don't believe me. It's not like my Darsh...
You know what? I'll ask around. I'm sure someone knows what's going on here. You're dead if I find out you're lying to me.
Ok.
Hey, Haytham.
Oh, it's you two. What's the matter?
We're running some errands for Nilou. Have you received her?
Letter?
Nilou said she sent out a letter inviting everyone to a celebration feast in 2 days at the Grand Bazaar. We'll also...
If she addressed the letter to all Haytham of the Academia, then the letter should have gone to my office. I've been busy these days, so I haven't had time to check for any new mail at my office. I only now have some free time to attend to personal matters.
Have you always been so busy with your work?
Of course not. I'm only busy these days because several sages have been dismissed recently and the whole academia was practically turned upside...
Tainari told us they all went to train in the Avidia Forest. Apparently they will spend their...
That is already the best possible ending for the likes of them. 4 of the 6 great sages were possessed by their desire for power and attempted to create a new god. In order to pull it off, they even imprisoned the other 2 rational sages.
Yeah, you're right. Huh. Feels kind of strange to hear them called that.
Yes, at least that's how they're supposed to sound. It's said that when the Academia was first founded, the Dendro Archon herself established the 6 great schools. Numerous Darshans have sprung up and faded. Only the 6 Darshans attaching themselves to the 6 great schools have stood the test of time. Now, the 6 Darshans are nearly synonymous with the 6 great schools, and the leaders selected for among the 6 great sages, there is one central leader. Unfortunately, only the sages from Vahumana and Amorta remain now. They were imprisoned for opposing Azar and were only rescued after Azar's downfall.
So who's managing things in the other 4 schools now? Do they need to find someone new?
Yes. Normally, new sages are selected based on a strict...
Oh, didn't you just say something about becoming a sage? If they pick you, then we'd have a huge connection.
Yes, about that. You didn't let me... The person in charge of personnel affairs nominated me to be the Grand Sage in place of Azar and help Lesser Lord Kusanali manage the Academia.
Huh? But why?
I'm not even interested in being one of the 6 great sages. Like I said before.
Oh, all right. So are you busy these days?
That's not my job either. I'm only responsible for handling important affairs within the Academia before the new sages take office. And the first thing I'll do is reject Kasharawar.
By the way, who was that other person just now?
Do we look like friends?
Paimon doesn't know. That's why Paimon's at...
His name is Kaveh, my roommate. You could say he's the representative for Ksharawar scholars. Which is exactly why he always has so many problems.
So everything that's happened recently must be a huge change for the people of Sumeru.
Such is the work of the Academia Scribe.
Well, anyway, no matter how busy you are, since you are our planner, remember to attend the celebration feast in 2...
Alright, I'll see you.
Le port d'Ormos, c'est là où on devrait trouver Theia. Normalement. Je crois. Je me rappelle plus. J'ai du mal à tenir ma souris. Je me suis coupé le petit doigt. Ou pas. Alors du coup ça frotte sur mon tapis de souris, c'est chiant. Bon ça va, heureusement que je joue à Genshin Impact et que je joue pas genre à League of Legends. Elle est pas là. Elle est sur un bata là? Peut-être.
This is Port Ormos. Now where could
Ah, je la connais elle.
Is that Paimon I hear?
Huh?
The new
It's been
Zad.
a while. How are you doing?
Dinyarzad! It's been so long since we've seen you!
I'm doing well. I can go as far as saying I have never. I don't know if you've heard, but Elazar has completely disappeared, and all the patients have recovered.
You kidding? Knowing them and the connections they've got, I'm sure they've heard about it.
Yeah!
That's right. My lady is feeling better now, so I'm accompanying her.
Why do you still call me that, Dia? You've already informed my father of your resignation.
I guess I'm just used to calling you my lady.
Resignation? You mean...
Yeah, I might start losing my edge if I keep being a bodyguard for the Homayanis.
You know that my parents and I are fond of you, and that we appreciate you very much. It wouldn't be a problem if you wish to continue to be our bodyguard.
I'm not a woman that's easily persuaded. You should. When I took this job, I had already decided that I'd quit as soon as you'd recovered. It's time for me to get back out there and chase that horizon.
So what are you gonna do now if you're not gonna be a bodyguard?
I want to take a risky job and put my body to...
Huh? But we literally just finished one of the most...
I know. If I hadn't joined in that plan with you, I wouldn't have come up with this idea. I guess I still get fired up by that feeling of going all out in a fight. It made me realize that life is short, and I'm happy that I got to be a part of that operation. But the whole thing also made me realize that there are still many problems in Sumeru. And as a
Well, I remember a friend had someone bring you a message.
You mean I'll hate them? I didn't expect him to still remember that.
We just came from talking with Alhaitham at the Academia.
Did he tell you that he suggested that I come work at the Academia?
What?
I heard that Azar and his cronies fell from power, and Alhaitham told me that now was a good time to find a job in the...
Whoa. Paimon can't see you being anything other than a mercenary.
Me neither. But I think...
Ugh, forget about it. I wouldn't last 10 seconds. Alhaitham probably just liked the way I worked and knew I'm good in a fight. So he suggested I find some work.
But you know, if you take him up on the offer, Sino might actually agree and let you become a Matra. Because you're super amazing.
The Matra have all the talent they need as long as they have Sino. I prefer to be free to... In fact, I chose this job from the very start because I knew it'd be right up my alley.
even if being a mercenary means facing all...
A lion has to return to the wild sooner or later. If anything, being your...
I don't want to see you go.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Come on, no need for the sad face. It's not like we'll never meet again. Once the whole Dendro Archon thing is settled, everything in Sumeru will take a turn for the better. That makes me happy too. But a peaceful society will probably mean less demand for mercenaries like me. Before long, we'll be a dying breed. So I'd better get to work.
Huh? But wait a second. You make it sound like you're...
Well, no, not yet at least. I promised my lady I'd stay.
So, have you been in Port Ormos this entire time?
Oh, did Nilou...
She heard that you were seen in Port Ormos, so she sent the letter here.
Huh. It was probably sent to the inn that we're staying at. My lady has been very energetic lately and keeps taking me on hikes, staying out even into the night. By the time we get back, the reception...
Right, and we tend to leave quite early in the morning, so the old man on duty is also usually...
So what it really sounds like is that the person on duty...
I bet the letter's at the reception desk. I'll go check.
No wonder there wasn't a reply. You never received the letter.
Sorry to make you two come all...
It must be something important for Nilou to specifically write.
Yes, she said they were preparing a victory feast in the Grand Bazaar, and will also be celebrating
Grand
Sino's
Bazaar.
reinstatement as General Maha...
Great! I'll be sure...
Count me in too. But is there some sort of dress code or anything?
Since it's being organized by Nilou, I don't think she'll be too picky about that. If anything...
All right, then...
The feast will be held in 2 days, so don't forget.
Sure.
Thank you so much for letting...
Oh, by the way...
The General Mahamatra always comes and goes without a trace. Normally no.
Oh,
But last time we met, he mentioned that he had something to do in our village. As for Rahman, your guess is as good as mine. I only remember he said that he had something to discuss with... Don't mention it.
alright, on to our next...
Ok, donc là, faut que j'aille dans le désert. Elle est où la zone en plus? Ah, elle est là. Oh, la statue, elle est là. Il n'y avait pas 2 zones en plus? Ou alors j'ai rien compris? Ouais, c'est peut-être ça. Je pense que la prochaine zone qui va être intégrée sera ici. Puisqu'ici, il y a du vide. Alors, du coup, c'est là que je dois aller. En vrai, s'il est au village, faut demander à Candace. Ah oui, il y a qu'il y a du monde à faire ici aussi.
The wind rises.
Ah, il y a Sino.
Quit following me.
It's been a while since we last visited our... Ah, there's Sino!
What brings you here?
We recovered Tainari agreed to let us leave, so now we're...
It seems Gandharvaville's medical treatment is still as good as ever.
And Tainari is recovering well, too.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, you're the one who brought us to him when we lost consciousness, right? Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Tainari has excellent medical skills, and Kale is quite attentive. It was the best.
But why are you just standing here like a dead tree?
I'm meeting some people.
Oh, you mean...
I've already talked with Candace and the village chief. They're still at the usual place, but you know one of the people I'm meeting as well.
Oh, by King Deshret's blessing, my friend suddenly appears in the desert. Don't tell.
Roman! And...
Oh, you...
Oh, well,
Don't worry, these are our friends. No need to.
I see.
I'm doing well. Many good things.
Same here. Really, I feel that my whole life has started to shine after suddenly finding a new direction.
Oh, tell us everything.
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right, well, I suppose I've decided to leave the academia.
What?
It's not that I've given up on being a scholar. I will no longer pursue research like a typical scholar, but I have not completely...
I can see what you're saying.
What?
I plan to leave the academia and return to teach here in the desert.
Wow, so you want to be...
Sataria will return to support education here and teach. She can't teach everyone on her own, but there are many of us Eremites all over Sumeru. She came to discuss a collaboration with me and hoped that I could bring her ideas.
Yes, it's my hope that the Eremites can help me select a group of smart people with the best aptitude. That is the true meaning of education and the spread.
The people of King Deshret suffer from sandstorms, exile, and ignorance. Miss Sataria is more than welcome to come teach here. The stars have always guided caravans, thieves, soldiers, and travelers who get lost in the night.
Oh, please, where's all of this?
You deserve these compliments. Mercenaries are...
Sataria's idea will bring much good to me.
At first, I feared it was destined to fail. Everyone knows that the academia does, as you know, all knowledge is under their surveillance and control, and very few. But what I heard at that time has been haunting my heart, as if there were lightning bolts constantly bombarding my soul. Sataria, you tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the academia's grasp. Sataria, why haven't you gone home? Never forget that the desert that belongs...
Miss.
These words sparked something in me, and I knew that I had to bring some... I gathered up the courage to approach the Grand Sage, only to find that he was no longer at the academia. Lord Sino told me that
Azar has received much-needed punishment. Though, if you ask me, it may have been too light.
Lord Sino helped me obtain permission to leave the academia for the desert, and accompanied me here to discuss... My plan was able to go smoothly thanks to him and
You're all doing so...
Aside from that, I also have some other business to do.
Lesser Lord Kusanali has allocated many resources to support and develop the desert. I've done some business for her, and part of it required the assistance of the Erma. I applied for a few batches of educational materials from the academia, and sent them to several groups in the desert, as instructed.
That's exactly what the people here need. Physical books and other related items. If it weren't for Sino and Lesser Lord Kusanal...
Apart from this, the academia is also recruiting scholars that are willing to teach in the desert. I'll let you and Sataria know we must be persistent about this, and maintain these resources to ensure long-term...
This is the first time in hundreds of years we've had a glimmer of hope. Remember these words. Here lies our faithful priest, Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration. I hope people with wisdom like that priest will rise again among the desert dwellers. Then we'll once again see the wisdom and glory.
Enough about us. Are you here to discuss some business?
No, not at all. We're actually here on behalf of... Nilou wanted to write to everyone, but she wasn't sure where the letters should be sent, so she asked us to come find... A celebration feast will be held in 2 days at the Grand... At the feast, we'll also be celebrating Sino's... although, judging from your appearance, it seems you've already...
Celebration? Feast? It's the first I've heard of it.
Tainari was right. He really did it.
This feast is for you, Sino. Sounds to...
It's rare to see that kind of expression from Lord Sino.
No, not really. But I'll go.
Well, I still have a lot to handle here. Besides, I need to look at...
I'm afraid I won't be able to join you. Although, if you'd be so kind, the message is, I'm sorry for how I treated you before, but now I understand the beauty of your dance. It's like a light shining in the sky. You and the art you symbolize are not only beautiful. Please keep dancing.
Elle veut pas l'écrire.
We've got all that down. Our job here is complete as well.
Got it.
Donc c'est au grand bazar, on va s'y TP. Putain, faut que je récolte des champignons aussi, mais j'ai trop la flemme. Les champignons pour... Pour votre nomade, ça y est. 19h, minuit. Ah, le surlendemain, merde. Ok.
Let's go to the Grand Bazaar and see how the celebration's coming along.
Ok.
Everybody's already here. Looks like we're the last ones to arrive.
You're here.
Ah, there you are.
Well, look who finally decided to show up.
You look like you came here immediately after finishing up some work. I'm very happy to see you here.
But we're not late, are we? It's just that everyone else...
I propose that the last one who arrived be put in charge of today's speeches.
Nah, there won't be any speeches today.
Oh, really?
Come join us over here. Let's share some great food and...
Everything looks quite good.
Wow! Paimon can't wait! Traveler just... Whoa! It's so delicious!
The food was specially prepared for you by everyone in the Grand Bazaar. And we have gifts that were sent by the residents of... Everyone that came said that you saved Sumeru and wanted me to thank...
Ah, feels kinda nice to be seen as a hero. I could get used to this.
Being a bodyguard is also a hero's job. You've always been amazing.
My lady sure has a way with words.
And I'm happy to meet everyone that participated in the great plan.
Don't mention it.
Come to think of it, we've really done something impressive together. It's unbelievable.
We owe it to our abilities. And luck.
Really? Why do I remember everybody thinking that luck was against us and feeling like we hardly had a chance of succeeding?
That's how I remember it too.
It's luck that brought us together, and it was luck that let us form a team. Then, it took even more luck for us to formulate a plan and implement it successfully. Moreover, judging from the results, everything...
Yeah. Everyone gave it their all when it mattered most. It was almost like a performance. We took this... Everyone played their part. And thanks to everyone's efforts, the performance was a great...
So, would you say we're good actors too?
It's such a blessing that Lesser Lord Kusanali was able to return to power at the Academia.
Yes, even after being abandoned and neglected so many times, she's finally returned. Uh-huh. Lesser Lord Kusanali once used all her power in a great disaster, which resulted in her losing all her wisdom and memories of the past. The Academia basically abandoned her. This should be something everybody should remember. Huh? You look surprised.
No, everything...
That's good.
Something wrong?
Yeah, what's with that face? You knew.
Even if those two giants of the Academia are here, those sages really have some nerve. 500 years ago, Lesser Lord Kusanali used all her
Ah oui, ils ont
power for the
totalement
people
oublié,
of
c'est vrai.
Sumeru. And what did they do in return?
L'ancien archon.
If you bite the hand that feeds you, don't act surprised when it turns into a knuckle sandwich, right, Sino?
Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but their treatment of Lesser Lord Kusanali calls for a more severe punishment.
You could simply tell Lesser Lord Kusanali that you wish to have Azar and his accomplices severely punished.
I respect our deity's decision, and won't interfere in any way. While we're on this topic, why didn't you accept the Academia's invitation to become the...
Are you trying to say that I'm fit to be a sage?
Not at all. But every person handling the selection process has said that you are the...
Why? Because he dethroned Azar?
Could you try to put it another way? This is a good thing, yet you're making it sound like I overthrew Azar for my own personal gain.
But seriously, though, I always wondered if you had some personal motives behind it.
I did have my own motive, but it had nothing to... If the rules of our nation were suddenly cast by the wayside, then it wouldn't be long until chaos ensued.
Oh.
I had no intention of letting their dreams disrupt my life.
By that, you mean your life working as the Academia's scribe.
Precisely.
Wait.
So that's the only reason why you joined us in...
It's reason enough.
You've certainly got quite...
You flatter me.
All right then. How about you? You've already resumed work as the General Mahamatra.
That's right.
Will you be happy with that life?
It's not about being happy. There are merely a lot of...
Even so, keep your spirits up and try to be happy, okay?
Thank you.
I seldom participate in such lively gatherings, but the atmosphere here is quite good. No. This gathering today, the Grand Bazaar is lively because the people here feel happiness from the bottom of their hearts. Unlike that happiness is an emotion that'll be forever alien to those bookworms who have driven them... Oh well.
Ah, there you are. Well, how is it? Are you enjoying the feast today? If there's any... That's good. It's the first time I've ever invited so many exceptional people to one place. You see, every guest here is quite extraordinary. Make sure you live it up tonight. I'm honored to have her think of me this way. If I have a chance in the future, I can't explain why. But I just feel elated right...
You know.
The atmosphere here is good, and everything is delicious. I don't often come to such places, but if you have a lot to handle these days, otherwise, I could show you around. There's always next time. This feast.
My lady, the grilled meat over there is delicious.
Yes, I also tried some fruit just now. Oh, they're very... What an amazing place to relax.
You said it. Oh, look who else is here.
Hello. Oh, I'm so happy Nilou invited everybody. Oh, now I have the chance to meet all the heroes.
Hey, less of that polite chit-chat and more eating and drinking. The feast is about having...
Ok.
Hey, what's wrong? Your head is starting to droop. Hey, you can't just fall asleep here. Paimon will go find something delicious for you to eat. You wake up, of course. Just wake.
Hmm.
It's me.
Ah. Je crois que c'était Scaramouche.
You may blame me for being a bit too self-indulgent. I was thinking about talking with you, and the next thing I knew, I admit the connection between us is amazing. It's like flora and the fence it grows upon. I heard there's an amazing celebration feast today at the Grand Bazaar. Lately, I've been so busy dealing with all the fallout from recent events, so I really haven't. Although you've already helped me with a lot, there's still one more thing I hope. Please say thank you to everyone for. But if I just show up all of a sudden, people will become all quiet, and what if I end up scaring them and ruining this wonderful feast? Okay. Yes, I have. You said I should go thank everyone as myself, right? So... I've decided to borrow your body for the time being. Please don't blame me. The flora also climbs up to the fence to get closer to the sky. Everyone! Are you awake now? Paimon was just about to bring you... It's me. Huh?
Hold up, what's going...
I didn't expect to have a conversation with the consciousness of Lesser Lord Kusanali in the Grand Bazaar.
No, of course not. Are you... Lesser...
Hello, Nilou.
You know who I am?
Yes. I already know every one of you. Nilou, I'll hate them. Sino.
Lesser Lord Kusanali?
I took the liberty of occupying the traveler's body so that I could thank all of you in person. Thank you so much for rescuing me, even if that meant placing your own safety in peril and taking the risk of becoming enemies with the Academe. Without you, without any of you, had you not helped me to resolve the crisis, not only people refer to you as the heroes who managed to rescue a god. I'm quite fond of this name. Please, allow me to present to you...
Lesser Lord Kusanali, you have done so much for Sumeru, and I...
Dinyarzad, the suffering you endured during your illness is also proof of you being with me and praying for me. Thank you.
You don't need to be so ceremonious.
This is how the relationship between the Academia and Dendro Archon should be. We just did...
You're an Archon, but you act so humble. You really don't need...
I'm honored to have been able to take part in this plan.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Ok.
Are you awake? Did you rest well? After Nahida left, you ate a lot of food. You've become a glutton. That just means you still have a lot to learn from Master Paimon. Alright, since you're awake now, should we go and have a chat with Nahida? She should be in the academia right about now.
Ok. Rendez-vous au sanctuaire.
Too slow.
Hello, traveler. What a fantastic night. I'm still immersed in all the happiness and joy. But so are we. And that's why we're here to talk with you. Is there anything you want to know? After recent events, the Akasha can no longer... I've given it some thought. And have decided that this is definitely not a bad thing. Even from the beginning, the Akasha's centralized administration of knowledge has always restrained people's care. Although people may initially feel a little uncomfortable with the loss of the Akasha, and as for the future of Sumeru, the former sages have received their punishment, but the new sages have yet to be selected. I hope that the new 6 great sages will be more focused. The other big issue is the people of King Deshret. All the residents of the desert, in fact. I've already taken some measures to address this. It will take some time to rebuild. You mean, what happened after the doctor put you to sleep? You guessed correctly. The top-ranked Fatui Harbingers, up to number 3, possess power comparable to that of gods. I was no match for him in that kind of situation. However, in spite of the bad situation, I'm sure you remember the entity that changed your fate, the Heavenly Principles. In fact, the Heavenly Principles has been quiet since the Conria disaster 500 years ago. I told him that the Heavenly Principles may be awakened if I destroy the Gnosis. Although it's just a bluff, I assumed that the Heavenly Principles wouldn't just stand by and let such extensive damage to its laws take place. And as for what I exchanged for the Gnosis, the exchange served as both punishment for the doctor as well as a boon of new knowledge that I couldn't refuse as the God of Wisdom. He's still in a coma. I've hidden him like how one would hide a feather. I know you have many misgivings about him, but as someone who had become a god, he has retained a number of very useful features. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do any evil. In addition, there are still some mysteries left in him. Some things, his future will be determined by fate. Is that where you're headed next, Fontaine? As far as I know,
Nation de
that
la
mission operates
justice.
in the judicial system. Does their Archon personally judge people? No, there's a Chief Justice in Fontaine. Generally speaking, the Hydra Archon, Focalor, won't preside over individual trials. However, even then, Focalor will still make herself present at just about every trial. It seems that as Archon, she still reserves the right to influence the Anyway, let's just say she's... Are you sure? Huh? About your sister. While you were resting at Gandharvaville, I took some time to perform an Irminsul search for information on your sister. repository for all the information and memories of Teyvat? So this is true in your case. Irminsul indeed does not have... However, there must be something different about your sister. Because as it turns out... What? There is only one possible explanation. She... But nothing about this makes any sense! Wasn't this your first trip to Teyvat? According to the records I was able to access, your siblings after the Conria disaster, she began her journey through the 7 nations of Teyvat. But just as her journey was about to reach its conclusion, the Irminsul What do you mean, Fuzzy? All I know for sure is that somebody, for reasons only they can know, is deliberately obfuscating her fate. And whoever it is, if they can do that, who knows what... But even that wouldn't explain how she somehow comes from this world. Something else I noticed was that according to these records, the Fatui have not classified your sibling as one of the Descenders. What's a Descender? Paimon's never heard of it. Look, I'm sure you must be curious about the information I received from the Fatui in return for my gnosis, right? A very important part of the intel was about this world's Descenders. External beings, ones that don't traveler. You are Teyvat's 4th Descender. Huh? So the Fatui count 3 other Descenders before the Traveler? And his sister isn't That's right. My current hypothesis is that the first Descender was as for the other Descenders. I still need to verify their existence. Paimon's head... And yet, even knowing all this, I'm sure you must still have a lot of unanswered questions. There are many questions in my heart as well. I will need some time soon. You'll also begin your journey anew and depart from... I'm very interested in your future. It's a journey that if fate is the ultimate knowledge, then your future will be the I'm sure glad we... The pleasure is all mine. Alright, that's enough talk for today. If you ever miss me...
Ok. Voilà, c'est terminé.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Vegeta. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more...
Genèse inversée. Donc ça on fera plus tard en vrai. Ça, rencontre dans la forêt, on fera plus tard. Je vais me TP pour pas activer de quête. J'ai jamais fait la quête d'histoire de Yelan, je crois. C'est quel personnage qu'on a fait en dernier? Là, je crois.
Like, about these Descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from...
Donc, quête d'histoire. Hop, on va récupérer ça. Attendez, je vais vérifier quand même. Alors, pour... Tac. Quête prérequise. C'est ça.
And as for your sister... So many questions. Let's go find Nahida and see what else we can find out.
Oh. Une 4 pour moi. J'avais fait les 4 ici pourtant.
Traveler, Paimon.
Oh, hey, Hoishin. Fancy meeting you here. How's work these days?
Thanks to the help of people like you and colleagues like But I've been feeling distracted.
It's a long story. But my father, he's thinking of stepping...
Huh? What's wrong with Uncle?
Nothing specifically. He's not unwell. He says he's always said, old age comes for us all in the end. Still, I just can't help but feel a little emotional. Anyway, my father's currently on the second floor of Yangsheng Tea House. Why don't you... He seems very fond of you too. I'm
Sure, let's go.
Ok. Paris calculé. Ok, donc c'est ça.
Quit following me.
Uncle Tien, we're here to chat with...
Oh? What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Oishi, what? I heard that you've been traveling all over the place recently. I would very much like to... Hoishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry. I'm quite all right. It's just the years gradually. As I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many... I am still very much in good standing as the Tianshu today.
How difficult is it to transfer the Tianshu position?
Oh, well, you see, the Tianshu is a rather... Historically speaking, the Tianshu rarely appears in public. We stay behind the scenes. We also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates free from influence by outside. For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this is then approved by the other Qixing.
So in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing,
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I won't be able to assess every candidate myself. Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as assessment officer.
Oh? Who is it?
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to forget all about me.
Yelan.
It's Yelan!
Jackpot. Uncle Tien here asked me to assess 3 candidates. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu.
What do you think? Paimon thinks so too. It can't be a bad thing to be on good terms with a new Qixing.
Alright then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tien, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the covert...
Huh?
I'm not opposed to the idea, but I suspect Ningguang wouldn't. So, how about this? If you're investigating...
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Everything's all set for the assessments to go ahead. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until... Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this fine establishment, this runs on the house.
Elle est la propriétaire de la maison de thé.
You're all set?
Uncle Tien seems really worn down. It's like...
Yeah, it may sound harsh, but Uncle Tien is past his prime. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei. Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs. And Zhi is focused. Try to keep all that in mind. Of course.
Qinwei, Mingbo, Zhi.
Let's leave that until we get to Yue. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We can't afford...
Got it. We'll keep our eyes wide.
Une des 7 étoiles va être remplacée.
Behold! Squall and Fury.
J'ai l'impression d'avoir fait les quêtes à Liyue hier. Alors que bon. N'empêche qu'on est déjà au 40e stream, je crois. Bah bientôt, je crois.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair. I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for an...
Oh, I mean,
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are, you'll...
Oh, come on. That's just...
All right, you two. Let's not get it. Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, cut him some slack. We've all been standing around for a while. Look, how about this? There's no rule saying...
Fine. Ugh, they're not the best quality chairs, to be sure.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. We'll meet them formally soon. Before that, let me run you through the... I've split it into 2 stages. Current affairs and planning, and face-to... In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. In the second stage, writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Wow. One of them is...
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed as the new Tianshi, failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted. There's still some time. Have a skim through, get a first I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let... Finished, huh?
Everyone took it very seriously.
Of course they did. They have the chance, and keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. That's for me to know and you to find out. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time. Start with Qianwei.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, so you two are the... I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp.
Mind your tone, mister!
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, yes. With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concepts I have put forward.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the ministry. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that, I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days? My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise...
Is it just...
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and move on to some questions.
Oh.
Ok. Il est stressé.
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous. What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your...
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure?
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with... Of course, two different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways. And you might reach two very contradictory conclusions depending...
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed...
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai if it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would...
Nice answer. All right.
Okay.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical and...
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent... But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about other people's feelings. Mingboa's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's meticulous in his work, very detail-oriented. But he and Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingboa is not very articulate and comes across as very timid in conversation.
Perfect summary! Paimon couldn't agree more! You're good at this.
Last but not least, Zhi. His
Last but
manifesto
not
is full
least.
of pertinent details, his methodology is sound, and his proposals cover a broad range of The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. Plus, he is modest and good at dealing with people. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's. Having someone like Zhi take the position would certainly put Uncle Tien's mind at rest.
Great!
We'll see. Let's go back and report to Uncle...
Quanto va Uncle Tian? Ok. Il est resté au salon de thé. Oh, qu'est-ce que c'est? Attendez.
Relax.
Hop. Tac, 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 tac. Ah, c'est quand même.
You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem.
Tac, 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 tac. Oh, ça marche. Je sais pas accès au presse-papier.
Relax.
Celui-là, j'ai déjà utilisé. Ok. Je trouvais des codes. Oh, c'est ça le code? Oh, c'est nul. succès. Ok. Est-ce que je peux faire des vœux? Non. Allez. Je pensais bien avoir des promotions. Bon là ça va m'en donner 60.
All right. Then let me ask this. The ideas in Jur-E's manifesto...
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates. For fear. Those 3 candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural that they share some. But Xin Wei went on to focus on his business, and Ming Bo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs.
Whoa! So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tian?
Chen Wei was referred to me by an old friend. Ming Bo came to my attention in the course of my work. We first met while fishing. Gradually, as we got to know each other, Juri came from a poor family, and his parents died when he was very young. He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quiet. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature
C'est
young
contraire à ce qu'il nous a dit là. Son jugement est influencé.
The young are growing up, and I am growing old.
I don't know, Uncle Tian. You still seem in pretty good shape to me. You might have...
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me.
Sounds like you sure love fishing.
Ooh, there's nothing quite like fishing to bass the...
Fresh fish soup.
Doesn't it? Also, some time ago, Juri purchased a very special recipe from an old fisherman. When we've been fishing recently, Juri always brings some extra ingredient. That flavor makes for a fond memory. But at my age...
Oh, can Paimon come next time too? Paimon really...
Let's get back to the matter at hand. Uncle Tian.
Mm-hmm. I appointed you. Had you not asked me why Juri's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention my history with any of them. This decision must be guided by what is fair, and remember, you must be...
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tian.
Hmm?
So, it's gonna be Juri. His manifesto was written well.
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time.
Huh? So...
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath many layers of... For example... Wenyuan.
Yes?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Ugh! Who are they? Where...
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan as my trusted assistants. They are always standing guard nearby. They also perform various assignments as required. Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth. And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Is he all right? I seem to remember that...
Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and waves.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's work files.
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
Juri, well, obviously as the most promising. Let's go to the docks first. Lots of people passing through.
If we're looking for information, he does business at the North Wharf.
That's actually...
Ok. Le croc. Encore Bolé, mais on va toujours le voir lui.
The wind rises.
Huh? What's blowing
Look, your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this.
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best. I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet.
Even so.
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded. If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead.
Okay, well, when you put it that... Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsetias are mine. I got to them first. Don't get any ideas.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called Juri.
Juri? I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. His parents died when he was young, and he was treated cruelly by the local community. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Juri never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he returned cruelty with kindness, injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and... how did I not notice him sooner? In fact, maybe I'm not too late.
He sounds like a decent man. We can finally...
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't looking for a brand ambassador too, are you? Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the...
Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Yelan. Come on, let's follow them and listen in. Try not to let him see you. We want...
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this.
I understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine who likes to have a drink now and then. He fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me, then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Thank you very much, Miss Yelan.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
Merde. Ok.
Juri seems to get along really well with it. Are you satisfied now, Yelan? Seems...
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. Let's...
Do we have... Wait! You're not just trying to dig up...
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But hey, you'll be able to try all the finest food for free.
We will? Well, come...
To behold!
Upon the gale.
Ramasse mon poulet.
The wind rises.
The wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers.
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
sorry to interrupt. We're actually members of the word about this man called Aujourd'hui, who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman.
Whoa! Yelan made up a whole fake identity.
Ah, yes, Jury. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they go they meet someone who's heard of it. Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside it. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, we think so.
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Oh? Why is that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some new members, though, I do know a few top anglers I could put you...
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things.
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for 1 or 3 for 1,000.
Ouais. Bah non, ça marche pas comme ça.
You better hurry. When they're gone, they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price
Wow,
Society for Fish Price Research? I haven't done anything illegal.
Please, don't worry. We're just here to We've heard about a certain Jury who's been selling fresh fish at low...
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
Oh? What?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. He was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he had a bandage wrapped around his head, and he managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But still to this day, he doesn't have a lot of mora to his name. I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him hack. It's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once, briefly, and I just had I think he has pretty low self-esteem. But hey, it's hardly my place to say anything. What he's achieved and nobody's perfect. I just wouldn't want to upset him, that's all.
I see. Well...
Not a problem. And just for the record, there's absolutely nothing wrong.
The more times you say it, the less convincing it becomes.
Doesn't have a lot of mora to his name.
Ok.
Quit following me.
Hey, it's you guys! Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah. What brings you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial artist, Master Dugu, who knows everything there is to know. Hence...
Really? People said I know everything there is to know?
But of course. We also heard that Master Dugu is a kind and virtuous swordsman.
Great! So what do you wish to know?
Now she's lying to a kid.
So, Master Dugu, have you heard of...
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about these days? I've heard many tales of Jury. For example, probably because it's nothing that important. I prefer stories about sword-fighting heroes.
Oh, I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this. Do you...
Oh yeah, I know that. It was before that. People always used to talk about Jury in a kind of nasty tone of voice. Sometimes he gives me candies. So I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
Just as I thought.
Huh?
What? I mean, just as I thought, Master Dugu is indeed...
I'm not that... Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people...
Oh, definitely.
Great! So next time I see them, I'll say hi.
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also like to say hi to them.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Well then.
Until we meet again.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? What was strange? Ji seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Soon and...
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from? It almost...
Sudden? Too good to be true?
So he returns cruelty with kindness, and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well-known in their hometown. But do you remember what Dugu Shuo said about Zhiyi's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. Plus, there's the fact that all this praise of his childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor.
When you put it like that...
Of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any further. Zhiyi was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there is within the rules of... The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed right, and that changes everything. It can mean a powerful That's the worst case scenario. But all too often, the most pessimist...
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixi, even if we ask Zhiyi...
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Don't worry. I've got... Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the... Whoever is secretly helping Zhiyi must... Come on. Let's get back to...
Retournons à la maison de thé. Est-ce que tout ça ne serait pas un plan de Oncle Chen?
Zhiyi's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. Looking for I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. You take one, I'll take the other. Officially, the assessment is already open. Whatever else Uncle Tian might think of Zhiyi, the fact remains that any evidence he's left is not going...
Je dois pas vraiment le lire.
So Yelan took half? Well, we gotta... Oh, this reading is getting...
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers! If you're back, that means...
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I always had another trick up my sleeve.
Don't drag this out. Just tell us your findings.
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Qianwei will start out complaining about how proud and arrogant he is, but then the young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Qianwei appears arrogant, but he's very scrupulous in the way he works. Once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any way you can check the accounts of...
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's the thing. I asked around and found out that almost all of Qianwei's accounts are open to the public. Where he buys from and sells to should be confidential business information, but he doesn't seem interested in protecting it at all. Chen Wei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it. It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that someone like that can still make mora is pretty infuriating when you think about it.
What a strange guy. It's like he's not doing
To validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights. It's all the result of his first-hand experimentation.
I'm back! Huh?
Why do you think? Obviously, because I possess superior skills and am always one step ahead of the competition.
Whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I hadn't had something else to take care of on the way, Lady Yelan, I have finished it.
Well, we're up.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Mingbua struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous, especially when he's chatting with strangers. But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him. On the whole, the feedback from the Ministry of Civil Affairs was very positive.
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs' appraisal of me?
I don't believe so. Mingbua is someone who has, according to Miss Yu, the ministry often gets Mingbua to take a final look at projects before they're implemented. People feel much more confident in something if it has his stamp of, oh, and also, there was once someone in the ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Mingbua gave them the scolding of a lifetime. Apparently, he can be terrifying when he loses.
Whoa.
Like I said before, things are not always as they appear.
Ah! So that's what you...
Thank you both. You're free to go now. So, have you finished reading the map?
We still have...
I can't see any immediate problems looking at the individual entry. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual is the Chengshu Pool. Chengshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there, so there are even more secrets buried deep underground. At some point, a rumor began to go around that there is great treasure buried beneath Chengshu Pool.
On découvre des coffres.
A long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing, a mining...
So, did they find...
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable. The only way they could have got... The technology wasn't mature enough at that time. Zhi-Yi's manifesto focuses on solving problems, and this treasure hunt... Still, this one fact alone doesn't help.
Excavation? Project? Treasure? Oh yeah! Zhi-Yi said the Blackcliff Forge workers should get right of first refusal.
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much clearer. So Zhi-Yi wants the Black...
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge?
No, not likely. I've looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They do possess some specialized explosives, but it would seem more trouble than it's worth to put some... Still, since the clues...
Shenwei and Mingbua both turned out to be completely different than what we thought. What about Zhi-Yi?
Oh. « 800 coffres. »
This is the Blackcliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
What's this?
From the back, it looks like a ledger, but it seems they also use it as a site log. We don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting.
You think they're suspicious?
Yes. Look, it says right there, one of them's already been promoted. At this rate, by the time the Chengshu Pool redevelopment plan is ready to... That'll give them the chance to take a lot of... Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Zhi-Yi recommends the Blackcliff Forge for the excavation project, no red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided to vet the staff individually, that's the advantage of planning this far in advance.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense.
That's a question for the newcomers. But let's start with that worker.
Excuse us. We want to ask you about the newcomers.
I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. Fast learners, too. They're picking up all the skills. My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking at night. But they never let us join. I guess they just need some time to adjust.
They go out drinking. This area isn't exactly...
You got that right. They tell me they go all the way back to Liyue Harbor. It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. But as soon as the rain stopped, they went out drinking again. Hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if...
Interesting.
Bon, j'en ai marre de parler, moi. Je veux me battre.
Looks like our hunch was on the Mora. Drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh?
Ça fait 20 minutes, j'ai rien fait. Et encore 20 minutes, j'ai plus de ça, sûrement.
They went that way. Hurry, we gotta catch up.
Squall and Fury.
Huh. These footprints are heading towards Liyue Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way. The footprints stop here, but judging from the direction...
Sun rises. Huh, too slow.
Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working. Look at these ashes. Someone was burning down.
Could there be anything left? Maybe the wind could have blown the fire.
The odds of that are very slim.
Why don't we wait for them back at the Black Cliff Forge?
We can't count on that. Clearly they were based here at one... To me, that says that whoever's behind this has moved them somewhere else.
Darn!
Make no mistake. The purpose of our trip wasn't to find any solid... I smelled something peculiar the moment... Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider is that paper and ink from different regions produce different odors when they're burned.
Really?
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate where there's nothing but ice, as some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of it. When that fragrant ink is burned, this is the exact odor. Exactly. The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, so it's nothing, but it's all I need. Now I know who we're dealing with. I can plan our next move.
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you again.
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and I sent him to look into Jur-E's regular contacts. Since Jur-E likes fishing, Upei thought he might know some of the fishermen and sailors. So I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Black Cliff Forge when he got back. If there'd been an ambush waiting for us there, it means we'd have had some backup. So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty-handed. I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Jur-E before. Then the waves got so choppy I ended up falling overboard. Fortunately, someone managed to drag me out. When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Black Cliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there as fast as I could. Didn't even stop to change my clothes.
Well, Uncle Tien said that Zhi once bought a recipe from one of the fishermen.
What? That's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan, I'm telling you, I spoke to...
Interesting. Then I wonder how that even more...
Fish soup? What fish?
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on... Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upe, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Zhi, but the guy's too cautious. Never meets with any...
Okay, so
No, we'll still need to tail him. But first...
groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay on high alert forever. Especially... Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his victory at Yuehai Pavilion. Take a guess what you think he'll do. Be sure to arrive on time.
Tac, faut que j'enlève ça parce que je ne vois rien. Ah, bien sûr, ça reste ici. Il veut pas se réincruster. Allez. C'est pas grave. Tac. Demain 9h. Hop, si je vais là, je devrais pouvoir y aller. Ok, il y a des bouches à moi.
It looks like we're
Attendez,
all
je vais pas.
here.
Ça me paraît
Well
bizarre,
then,
c'était autre chose.
time for me to announce the results of the assessment process.
Non, bah y a rien.
I won't drone on about
Y a
the
rien, y a rien.
importance of the Tianshu role. Suffice to say that Uncle Tien entrusted me with the monumentally important task of...
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush. Just get on with...
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas, but some of his plans are lacking in... Mingguo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough. And because of his personality, in contrast, Zhi is evenly bound after much consideration.
What? Oh, thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear my name. In my estimation, all three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. Would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future and taking on some of my workload?
I'll have to see.
I don't mind, as long as I...
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi, you'll have some preparation to do.
I will live up to the Tianshu name. I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think...
Count me out. I'm not in the...
Zhi seems pretty relaxed now. This would be...
Hey, traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that I don't... If you can't answer that, I'm not accepting this result.
I, also wouldn't mind knowing.
Attendez. J'arrive. J'arrive, c'est important. Heureux. Excusez-moi.
Oh no, if we get stuck here, we won't be able to leave!
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally got rid of—
Lady Yelan, jury has gone towards Feiyun.
Follow him. Quick.
So Jury really sided with the But Uncle Tian thinks so highly of
Ah, il y a
him.
Madame Ping.
Why would he do this?
Difficult to say. But everything should become a lot
Oh, mais
clearer
arrête
when
d'être
we
coincé,
find
toi.
him.
Behold! I'm sorry, Lady Yelan. He's too good at this. We weren't able to—
How the heck did he manage to shake Yelan's? I guess Jury didn't let his guard down.
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's wired. Perceptive enough to sense when he's being—
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tian himself. Evading detection is not an unusual skill for him to have. If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tian, you'd have ended up at a dead end too. It's fine. So, where did you lose him?
Shinyue kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I were watching outside the whole time. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him, but we couldn't get close enough to check without blowing our cover. I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo, so I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead—
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but that's okay. Let's go to Shinyue Kia.
On peut lui acheter des trucs? Pas chacun.
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit right under your nose, and you don't even ask him about it?
Our customers are free to dress however they please. What grounds would I have to question?
Okay, fair enough, but...
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me—
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one question. What?
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up a bottle of liquor that he ordered ages ago.
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery, with a rich flavor. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago. He was only here today to pick it up.
Liquor and wine wick.
Where to?
Shigu Antiques.
Oh, des recettes.
Hey, Miss Linlong. Sorry to bother you. Zhi ordered a wanware set from you not long ago, right? We're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the quality, considering how affordable it was.
Sure. Which model are you
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware. Let's just go with Zhi's choice.
Zhi picked up his set not long ago. As a quality imitation of an antique wineware set, it has the— Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock. And now that Mr. Zhi has taken one, I'm afraid it may—
Don't worry. Price shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure we can work something out. But I'm just a little hazy on—
For this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum purchase is 1 glass, maximum is 4. Mr. Zhi bought 2.
Okay. Thanks, Lin Long. Seems there's a little more to buying wineware than I first thought. We'll have...
Well, don't take too long.
This is turning into a real...
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grand Master of Fieldwork here to thank for being wholly incapable of tailing an ordinary civilian without being seen.
It's not like you did any...
My specialty is information trading, okay? I don't have the physical...
Yelan, so if we can't figure out where Jerry went, there's...
If so, it's no ordinary celebration.
What do you mean?
First of all, Zhi isn't much of a drinker. On some level, he hates alcohol because of what it did to his father. If he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his meager savings on an expensive bottle of alcohol, let alone buy a pair of special wine glasses. No, this is a victory feast. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor and has a very high status. Hence the need for expensive-looking... Now, where might we find Fatui who match that description, I wonder?
Fatui officials. Should be either...
Have both locations surrounded. Take as many people...
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make...
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance operation, in which case...
Great idea! So we just need to find out who Jerry...
But Lady Yelan, if we...
I'm well aware. But don't you see? Stick to your orders, and make sure we're covering all other bases.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady Yelan. Jerry may be a...
I'll be waiting for you at the tea house. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely to take action at night.
La maison de thé. Après 20h.
Perfect timing. Wenyuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupov, just left the embassy alone. He's heading in the direction of Qingshu Pool.
Qingshu Pool? That's the place...
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Qingshu Pool is always crawling with monsters.
Oh no.
Let's go.
Oh, c'est là. Je confonds avec là où il y a l'océanide.
This is Qingshu Pool, full of ruins, crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear of this place. I've looked into the place before. There's a worker's entrance somewhere around here. Follow me. There's been some work done on this place in the past, but it's a bit of a labyrinth inside. The workers left an emergency access route. Still, be ready to fight at any...
Don't worry, we're up by the way, Yelan.
They have other things to take care of first. We couldn't...
Bon, bah, j'espère qu'il n'y a pas de stalgéo. C'est tout ce que j'ai à dire.
Gotcha. Busted. Quietly now. As I expected. But this shouldn't be too much trouble.
ambassador. That must be the emergency access route.
C'est quoi son arc? Simulacre d'eau. Ok. Et ancien rituel royal.
The night is cold.
Squall Fury.
Ok.
Too slow.
Du coup, il n'y a rien dans celui-là là-bas.
The water's gone down. Hey,
Il n'y a pas de coffre.
Quit following me.
Gotcha. Take it easy.
Ah, d'accord.
Take it easy. Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over.
Il n'y a rien là. Les pousser plus? Ok. Ah, il y en a que deux, ok.
Take it easy.
Ok, je crois voir ce qu'il faut faire.
Now the statues have lit up. Okay. Now we should be able to move the statues.
Je peux pas la pousser là-bas. Toi va là-bas. Toi va là-bas. Toi va là-bas. doucement.
Take it easy.
Hop, là-bas.
Take it easy.
The door is open. Let's go.
We should be nearly at the bottom now. Let's wrap this up.
Salut mon pote.
Let the show begin.
Behold! Cry louder!
Eat this! Out of the frying pan. Not now.
Gotcha.
Ok. En vrai, je suis en train de penser, Yelan, ça ferait un bon sub DPS hydro.
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine liquor indeed. Come on, bottoms up.
Oh, sorry.
You'll get there. If you want to stay friends with us, you have to drink with us.
I'll do my best.
You're more of a lightweight than I thought. Already struggling after one glass? I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup. Come on, another round. Less talking.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers down my spine. I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a few days because I was so scared of getting caught.
Look, I know it has not been easy for you, my friend. But I have to say, you really are quite a genius at... I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible, slow-acting poison and came up with the idea of delivering it through fish soup. What was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralized...
It struck me one day when I was fishing. I'm lucky it did. Otherwise, I'm not sure I would have been able to fool Uncle Tien.
You have performed excellently. The Fatui will continue to provide the support you need to consolidate your position as Tien Shu. Of course, this is aside from Qing Shu Pool. We also have some other requests for you, which...
Don't worry. Whatever tasks you have for me, I will perform them diligently.
Did you hear that? It was poison! That's why Uncle Tien hasn't been feeling well recently. What a nasty guy.
Hold on. Did you bring a camera? If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to capture it for posterity.
Excellent. We've seen no progress on the diplomatic front, and everyone has been eyeing up the treasure of Qingshu. But soon, everything will be taken care of, and I can report... I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey.
How could I forget? You said a lowly commoner like me could never be seen as a serious... The only way is for you to shine bright in the Tianshu's darkest moment. I think you were absolutely right.
Yes, under normal circumstances, the gap... Just look at your two competitors. Qianwei had wealth. Mingbo had reputation. And that's why I decided to help you. Yeah, there's an old saying in the Fatui. Give a starving dog a bone, and it'll go.
Yes. I cannot thank you enough for your
You know, the best thing about you is that you do as you're told. Heck, when you're not in the company of the Fatui, you'll be able to throw your weight around as much as you want.
Uncle Gao said that Jur-E has low self-esteem. Seems he was right. He was worried that whatever advantage he might have now will diminish over time. So do you have any more film in the camera? Then get ready to use it. Tonight's grand finale. How well this goes for us.
Ooh, is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up. I'm in a good mood.
There's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it, I can bring you some more next time.
Whoa, this is the... Huh? Jur-E, you...
You seem surprised, Mr. How could I not? I've sacrificed years of my life studying and reflecting to prepare myself for this position. And in the end, I even had to poison my... You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your little puppet? I don't want to bow down to anyone ever again.
You imbecile. It's the Fatui who got you to where you are.
Do you see the haystack in the corner? Underneath it is a pile of explosives. And next door in the dark room are the 3 undercover agents you sent to infiltrate the Black Cliff Forge. I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the explosive.
What?
I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots. 2 missing person cases will be... The Fatui planted undercover agents in the Black Cliff Forge to steal their signature ruin-grade explosives. Their plan was to blow through the solid floor tiles in the dead of night and seize the treasure of Qingshu Pool. But things didn't quite go to plan. Mistakes were made that led to the accidental death. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, the embassy won't investigate. It explains why you acted alone, while exonerating the rest of the embassy. Of course, none of that will have anything to do with me. When all of this comes to my attention, I'm afraid I'll have no choice but to cancel the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan immediately. I guess then, I'll be Tianshu in my own right.
Jur-E, do you really think you're gonna get away with this? The Fatui is a record. After I die, they'll come look.
A record? Oh, you must mean the one in the hands of your second in command. Because when you contacted me, I also made contact with your associates. I have Theophan to thank for providing me with the poison I used on you today. He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, your untimely he has been eyeing your position for a long... Relax. It's over. After sweet dreams.
Ok.
I did a little surveying on the way here and found that you'd left yourself 3 escape routes in case things went south. I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, save yourself the effort. The game's up. We were here the whole time and have pictures of everything.
The game's up? Forgive me, I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces and eventually brought them down.
This is how you want to play it, huh? Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is establish that the poison in his system is the same as in Uncle Tien's. Nothing else you wanted to add? Let's leave it.
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. You followed him here, didn't you? I was so focused on keeping myself out of sight. Let's talk about this, Yelan. I gave you my word that I would live up to the Tianshu name, and that much, When I take office, I can guarantee that I will act in your best interests. In fact, I don't deny that I used underhanded methods to get here. But given my...
You still don't get it, do you? Even now, what do you think? Exactly. Jur-E, clever people can always come up with a good excuse. But while you might be able to get other people to believe you, there's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect. But when has Uncle Tien ever looked down on you? He was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that by poisoning him. Whatever positive goal you...
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself there was no other way. Uncle Tien was always going to give you this opportunity, even if you'd done nothing at all. Out of everyone in the world, he is the one who trusts you the most. So much that he drank your fish soup without doubting you, not for...
That's enough!
Life is like fishing. It cannot be rushed. Whatever you do, impatience will accomplish nothing. I was just like you once, desperate to prove myself. Only later did I realize things do not always turn out the way you plan. But you have to keep calm to carry on. You're still young. Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't look outside yourself to prove your value. Where's Jur-E these days? It's been a long time since he last paid me a visit.
Maybe he's just busy.
Well, next time, if he doesn't bring a pot of piping hot fish soup, don't let him in.
Whatever you were thinking about, you'll have plenty of time to mull it over in prison. Oh, I almost forgot. If the Fatui find out what happened today, prison might not turn out to be the safest place for you. Trying to have friends on both sides, it has a way of turning everyone against you. But right now, I have an opportunity for you.
Huh?
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. Let's meet at Genshin Tea House tomorrow. I'll have someone remove the explosives. Then, there's...
Need our help with that?
No, it could be dangerous. You should leave this one to the... Don't worry, as long as they're willing to get some rest.
Too slow.
Hop, faut sûrement que j'aille au salon de thé, je crois. Mais il faut que j'attende l'heure. 8 heures. On voit bien le truc surélevé là de la montagne. La pilasse.
There is now no poison left in his system. But recovery from the damage already done will not happen overnight.
Dr. Baishu.
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine every day, and it's good we caught it in time. A few days later, and the toxin would have built up in the internal organs. At that...
How did they successfully secure such a seldom seen poison? It seems that, unfortunately for them, they were up against us.
Uncle Tien will be heading off now. Remember to get plenty of rest and avoid overexerting yourself while you're recovering.
Don't worry, I will. Thank you very much. Ah, you're here too? Yes, the exhaustion seems to have gone.
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing.
Hey, Yelan!
My work is mostly wrapped up, so I thought I'd take a minute to check in here. The assessment process comes to an end here, Uncle Tien. In my opinion, Zhi is not suitable.
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalties easily. I've always known this.
Is it just Paimon, or is...
Don't underestimate Uncle Tien. He wouldn't have appointed me as assessment officer if he hadn't had his doubts about Zhi. Normally, the Yuehai Pavilion would be responsible for assessing the candidates.
Yes, to be quite honest, I wanted to trust him unreservedly. But I have to be responsible with the position of Tien. When I first met Zhi, I wondered if he had approached me with a hidden agenda. I concluded that he had no ulterior motives whatsoever. He just saw me as an ordinary fishing friend. In the end, even he changed. I never had any plans to recommend him directly, but I always intended to give him the chance to compete on a level playing field. I had no reputation to speak of when I first became Tianshu. I relied on Ganyu's assistance for all manner of things. What I really admired about Zhi...
I have to admit, he's a smart guy, and very cautious. The intel suggests that the Fatui saw him as very low risk, but Zhi was still extremely careful with the poisoning. He chose that specific liquor from Xinyue kiosk because the fiery flavor would mask the bitterness of the poison, and he chose to wait until He also installed a secret compartment in the wine pot he bought to hold the poison. As the amount of liquor went down, he'd shake the pot to release the poison from the compartment into the liquor. Afterwards, we also found he had an antidote on him. How the Fatui official drunk suspicious? Zhi would have drunk the poisoned wine.
But that's still really dangerous.
Yes. Had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still would have faced serious health consequences despite taking the antidote. He didn't hesitate to put himself in harm's way to achieve his goal.
How is Zhi?
Well, I mean, he is sitting in a jail cell. Like Yanfei says, everyone who breaks the law has to... Still, he's cooperating. He didn't turn down my offer to strike a deal. I'll make sure there are plenty of guards around to keep him safe from anything the Fatui might be...
A deal? Does this have to do with what you said to him when you arrested?
Yes, Zhi's not the one I'm interested in. If he was as far as this went, I'd have handed the case off to... But once the Fatui became involved, things got a whole lot more interesting.
Well, did you?
Almost. Unfortunately, I'd slipped off the...
Uncle Tien? Yelan? What are you talking about?
Zhi colluded with the Fatui to try and secure the position of Tianshu. Or, to put it the other way around, the Fatui made an attempt to interfere in the Tianshu selection process. With Yusupov in our hands and a statement from Zhi, we could afford to continue with a diplomatic offensive. Also, we'd be able to gain control of Theophan, Yusupov's second-in-command. Then we'd have a pawn, and pawns like this can be major assets. They open up all sorts of new options. Why else did you think I was investing so much time and effort into this case?
So, okay.
We got halfway. The first part went off without a hitch, and we passed all the information on to Lady... But when we tried to make contact with Theophan, he was gone. Along with all...
The Fatui must be spying on us. Otherwise, they'd never been able to respond so quickly.
I found out from other sources that the Harbinger Regrator got involved. The Fatui's main forces aren't concentrated here. Brigader was only treating this as a peripheral concern. It's a pity that Theophan got away. But knowing which harbingers are still looking at Liyue is something. It gives me a...
I have to ask, Yelan. Do you have any desire to take over the position of I remember you showed some interest a few days ago at Yenshan Tea House.
Oh, that. I prefer my current life. There's danger and there's excitement. Although it'd still be a behind-the-scenes role. As Tianshu, I wouldn't have the chance to get involved in anything truly clandestine or face any real danger. All right, I'm done here. Time for me to go.
Where are you off to this time?
As you might have guessed, it's for me to know and you to find out. But I'm sure if you keep going as you are, getting yourselves involved in other people's business all the time, you're sure to get caught up. Maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. If you have any more questions, just ask Uncle Tian.
Time flies so fast. Before you know it, Lanterite's almost here again. The people of Liyue must have already started preparing for the most important festival of the year, right? Hopefully Paimon will be able to check out tons of great food again this year.
Et voilà, du coup on a débloqué les quêtes. Pour le festival des lanternes. Voilà. Donc du coup il me restera une quête d'histoire à faire. Il me reste plus beaucoup de persos à faire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Je pense que je ferai Tartaglia la prochaine fois. Puis après on fera ceux de Sumeru. En fin de compte, c'est tous ceux du groupe quasiment. Il manque juste Tia. Je pense qu'elle sera sortie, elle aurait aussi une quête d'histoire comme Alaitam. Je pense. Hein. C'est une suggestion.
There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world.
Anyway, let's go to Liyue Harbor and see what's up.
Donc voilà, c'est débloqué. Ça c'est pour up des compétences, je crois. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Une lanterne. Donc là c'est Ganyu. Ça faut que j'aie plus de persos pour le faire. Je pensais que ça allait se reset avec la mage mais non. C'est bien ce qui me semblait. Je sais pas pourquoi je croyais ça. C'est parce que c'est marqué. Ah voilà, avant la réinitialisation de la spirale de la lune. Mais je crois que c'est l'événement en gros. Là par exemple, les ondes de choc font plus de dégâts en gros. Du coup j'ai vu ça. D'ailleurs, c'est ici. C'est ça qu'il faut pour up les compétences de nomade. Et il y a ces armes là. Bon, j'ai peur que si je me promène, je déclenche la quête.
Oh, why the pleasure is all mine. It must be fate that brings us together in this place. How have you fared as of late? Setbacks are inevitable over the course of a long journey. If you wish to share what's troubling you, allow me to lend my ear. There is no need to shoulder all burden. You are too kind.
So, Zhongli, are you here to listen to stories over tea again?
I had originally planned to set out after this last round of tea.
However,
I had planned to take a walk to Qingce village and gather some nascent bamboo shoots, which are currently in season. A villager there once gave me a small sample, and they possessed a most excellent...
Huh? Nascent bamboo shoots? Why can't you just use Wait, Paimon knows! Because Zhongli prefers the finer things in life, right? Okay, Mr. Particular, let me guess. Ahem. The nascent bamboo shoot has a uniquely tender...
An astute observation, Pai. Lantern Rite is almost upon us, but besides the bamboo shoots, there are a few other items I have not yet procured from Director
Directrice
Hu's list.
Ou Tao.
May I ask if you have already made arrangements
Travaille
for
pour
the
le
days ahead?
funérarium.
Well, we were planning to use the opportunity to say hi to some of our friends, but before we were able...
Well then, might I invite you to imagine the sheer delight that is a soup cooked with the
Je baffe
fresh
déjà.
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Paimon's onto your plan. You just want to hoodwink us into fetching your bamboo for you.
Des étoiles dans les yeux.
Why, I assure you, I would do no...
Ugh. Let's go, traveler. Collecting a few bamboo shoots shouldn't take too long.
Such fine specimens are indeed well worth...
See? Paimon knew he was just...
However, there is no need to rush. The streets of Liyue will be bustling with visitors and filled with all manner of celebration. The nascent bamboo shoots would
Et du coup, je crois qu'avec cet événement, du coup, on va rencontrer plein de personnages.
Exceptional feast. What an honor it would be to savor them in the company of friends.
We're heading out. Enjoy your walk, young...
Ouais, donc là, il y a Zhongli. On parlait tout à l'heure de Xiangling. On risque peut-être de croiser Ganyu. Bon, après, je sais pas. Qui pourrait-on croiser d'autre? C'est une bonne question. Mon chat ne veut pas se réinsérer. Je sais pas pourquoi. Bref. Bon, du coup, c'était un bon petit stream. On a fini les quêtes principales à Sumeru. Là, maintenant, c'est du... Pas vraiment du secondaire, mais... C'est les quêtes intermédiaires. Qui est une passerelle, en gros, entre Sumeru et Fontaine. Fontaine qui devrait... pas tarder à sortir, peut-être dans un mois ou deux, c'est sorti en vrai. Fontaine qui apparemment les personnages, la ville je sais pas, mais les personnages en tout cas, sont basés sur la France. Mais je pense genre durant la révolution industrielle, vous voyez, à peu près à cette époque-là. Notamment sur les tenues, ça se voit un peu au niveau des couleurs, tout ça. Je pense que la région serait intéressante. J'irai chercher aussi la statue au désert là qui manque, du coup, vu qu'ils ont rajouté la zone. On essaiera d'avoir aller Etam, j'ai toujours pas assez de primogèmes. C'est pour ça aussi que je veux faire l'événement, pour avoir les primogèmes. J'ai pas... Il va falloir que je fasse pas mal de vœux quand même, parce que ma pitié est dégueulasse, du coup. Enfin, elle est dégueulasse, elle est très basse. Vu qu'au dernier moment, on a essayé d'avoir la Shogun. Moi, j'ai dû faire peut-être maximum 10 vœux. Donc, il faudrait que j'en fasse 80 pour être sûr d'avoir Ali et Tam. J'essaierai d'avoir son arme aussi, si je peux, si j'ai le temps. Et je pense que j'essaierai d'avoir Yelan, qui pourrait bien fit avec Ali et Tam. En vrai. Si je fais genre Ali et Tam Yelan. Mais mon problème, c'est au niveau des healers. J'ai que Barbara pour l'instant. Et éventuellement Yao Yao. Dendro et Hydro. Si je fais déjà tout ça. Pour bien faire, il me faudrait Chichi. En healer, Cryo du coup qui passerait bien. Et en troisième, je pourrais mettre qui? En troisième... Je sais pas. On a essayé quoi comme perso? Moi je m'en souviens plus. Ouais, il y avait la Pyro là avec sa guitare là. Mais j'aime pas trop. Bon en vrai je pourrais garder Xiangling pour l'instant, je pense. Ouais. Ouais, ça me paraît pas mal. Après qu'est-ce qu'il y aurait d'autre? Ouais du coup on est au 39e stream. Hein. Ça avance, ça avance. C'est officiellement la plus longue série, je crois. De live, de vidéo. Enfin, de live de VOD, ouais. Ça bouge un peu. Ouais, la cam bouge pas mal. C'est pas. Parce que je tape sur mon bureau, tout ça. Oh. Donc, du coup, maintenant que ça c'est fait, on va avancer sur le festival des lanternes, qui nous donnera des primos, qui nous permettra d'avoir peut-être à l'étame. Après, on continuera les quêtes d'histoire. On fera la quête intermédiaire. On fera des quêtes du monde. Fontaine devrait sortir à ce moment-là. On a encore des beaux jours. Ouais, j'ai vu, il y a Mister MV et joueur du grenier qui ont joué à Genshin Impact. Bon, c'était une OP. J'imagine qu'ils sont pas... Enfin, ils pouvaient, mais... Ils ont pas voulu refuser, quoi. Mais bon. C'est assez peu représentatif de... ce que les nouveaux joueurs vont avoir. Parce que eux, ils commencent, ils ont plein de vœux. Ils ont des persos ultra pétés. Genre Mister MV, il avait Jin. Enfin... C'est probablement le meilleur perso à avoir en début de jeu. Vraiment. Jin vous permettra d'avoir un bon DPS, d'avoir un bon healer, ce qui manque principalement au début de partie. Elle est très polyvalente, vous pouvez la mettre à n'importe quel rôle. Ça fait très bien main DPS, support, healer, mais sub DPS. En vrai elle est très forte Jin. En early, vers la... Je pense que quand vous arrivez vers Sumeru, ça commence à être un peu moins fort. Même vers la fin de Liyue, je pense que c'est plus très... C'est plus si fort que ça. Après c'est toujours bien dans les donjons, tout ça. Voilà. Après il y a des persos qui sont bien pour l'exploration, genre là, Nomade, il est très fort. Item sera pas mal aussi parce qu'il est comme Quête. Vous pouvez mettre un espèce de petit portail là, puis hop. Vous y TP. Son ulti c'est comme celui de Ketching, je sais pas si vous voyez. Sauf que c'est pas lui qui bouge. Il met une zone et c'est des réflexions de lui qui tape. C'est assez fort, j'aime bien en vrai. Ah, j'avais fait la mage de Genshin sur mon téléphone. Pour... Je me suis dit tiens je vais jouer un peu sur mon autre compte comme ça. Hop là Shogun et tout. Je fais la mage. J'ai pas assez de mémoire sur mon téléphone. Je regarde, le jeu faisait plus de 22 gigas. Ouais, j'ai dit je vais le désinstaller. Je pense que sur téléphone en vrai, le jeu ne s'y prête pas trop. C'est un bon jeu, hein, faut. Mais sur téléphone, déjà ça prend énormément de mémoire. On n'a pas encore des téléphones avec 1 Tera de stockage. Parce que faut aussi vous dire que votre téléphone, plus il a de stockage, plus il va consommer de la batterie. Il y a ça aussi, faut l'alimenter le stockage. Enfin bref. Bon, voilà. Sur ce, ça va être tout pour moi. Je vais aller me faire à manger. On se retrouvera peut-être dimanche soir pour la suite de Genshin. On fera petit quête d'histoire, sûrement. Elle commence à s'énerver, elle veut descendre. Était là. Elle a son petit pull, elle s'est fait tondre à la froid. Oh voilà. Bon, sur ce, n'hésitez pas à passer sur YouTube. Toutes les VOD y sont. Les 40 VOD y sont. Et n'hésitez pas aussi à passer sur Twitter où je vous avertis toujours des lives. Et aussi, vous pouvez suivre sur Twitch. Sur Twitch, quand vous êtes follow, vous pouvez décider d'activer ou pas les notifications et vous serez au courant si je suis en live ou pas. Voilà. D'ailleurs, on met toujours un petit message pour dire ce qu'on fait. Bon, moi je laisse Genshin chill, tout ça. C'est quand même assez bon. Assez rempliche. Je pense que les VOD doivent servir aussi à s'endormir. Bref. Du coup, moi je vous dis à dimanche. Si je peux stream avant, je streamerai. Si je peux pas, voilà. Samedi, c'est sûr, je peux pas. Je peux pas, c'est pas possible. Ce soir, je sais pas. On verra. Si je peux, je streamerai. Si je peux pas, je streamerai pas. J'aurais pu stream hier et avant-hier au soir, oui. Mais c'était le début de la LFL, tout ça, j'avais envie de regarder. Donc voilà, vachement surpris par les équipes, ça joue bien. Il y a un bon niveau, c'est très serré. Je suis content. Ce serait plaisant à regarder. Bon voilà. Sur ce, je vous dis à dimanche. Peut-être qu'un jour il y aura du League of Legends. Hein. J'aime bien le jeu, hein. J'aime bien y jouer. Mais j'ai la flemme. Je suis trop matrixé là par Genshin Impact. Voilà. Sur YouTube, à dans 2 jours. Et à dimanche. Ciao, ciao.